20 years have passed and Pride and Prejudice still lives rent-free in our heads, and honestly, it deserves every single second of that space, because this 2005 masterpiece was not just a movie, it was a feeling, and now the world is finally waking up to the idea that maybe, just maybe, we are not done with Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. And if you have been refreshing every entertainment news page hoping for a sequel announcement, then congratulations, because things are starting to move in a very exciting direction. The film came back to theaters for its special 20th anniversary, and what shocked everyone, including the producers, was how massive the response was, because in an era where people have every movie available at their fingertips, thousands of fans still chose to go sit in a dark theater just to experience that muddy field walk and that lake scene one more time, and that kind of dedication from a fan base is exactly the signal Hollywood needs to greenlight a sequel. Matthew Macfadyen, who played the unforgettable Mr. Darcy, recently opened up in interviews about how anxious he was during filming and how he genuinely feared he was miscast, and hearing that broke our hearts a little, because the man gave us one of the most iconic romantic performances in cinema history. But what made this even more meaningful is that he also said it is flattering when fans still recognize him as Darcy, and that he wishes he had enjoyed it more the first time around, which honestly sounds like a man who might be ready for a second chance at playing that role with a lot more confidence and a lot less self-doubt. Keira Knightley and Rosamund Pike reunited for interviews and YouTube content around the anniversary, and watching them together again reminded us exactly why this cast was so perfectly chosen, because the warmth and the genuine connection between these actors translates directly into the magic we feel watching the film. Now let us talk about what a sequel could actually look like, because the fan theories are flowing, and some of them are genuinely brilliant. Elizabeth and Darcy will naturally be settled into married life at Pemberley, but adjusting to each other and building a life together was probably not without its complicated moments, and the story could explore them as parents raising children who are now adults, and we could potentially see a daughter at the center of the story, walking a very similar emotional path to her mother, which would be a beautiful way to pass the torch while keeping the heart of the original alive. Jane and Bingley would still be the softest, most gentle love story in any room they enter, and seeing those two families intertwined through their children would be everything. And then there is Lydia, whose elopement with Wickham was always a disaster waiting to happen, and 2 decades later the consequences of that impulsive decision would have piled up in very real ways, and watching her finally reckon with the life she chose while trying to reconnect with her sisters could add genuine emotional depth to the sequel. But here is the news that has the entire internet buzzing right now, because while we wait for a sequel film, Netflix is actively developing a brand new Pride and Prejudice miniseries, and the cast they have assembled is nothing short of extraordinary. Emma Corrin, who gave us a hauntingly beautiful Princess Diana in The Crown, will be stepping into the role of Elizabeth Bennet, and that casting alone tells you this is going to be something special. Jack Lowden will be Mr. Darcy, and the legendary Olivia Colman will play Mrs. Bennet. And if that combination does not make you want to clear your entire weekend schedule, then I genuinely do not know what will. This series is expected in 2026, which means it could be arriving on our screens very soon, and it is going to be the obsession we never knew we needed. So whether you are here for the Netflix series or holding out hope for a full sequel film, one thing is absolutely certain, and that is that Pride and Prejudice is not finished with us, and we are certainly not finished with it. So if you want every update, breakdown, and analysis the moment it drops, make sure you are subscribed, because we are covering every single chapter of this story together.